organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Iowa roads have taken a major hit according to a new study. Find out more next.
Riding bikes isn't just a hobby anymore. Find out how one Iowa City resident took a favorite pastime and created a business.
And in sports,
men's hoops looks to rebound for their final stretch of games as one Big Ten team visits Carver Hawk Arena for the first time.
We're bringing you all that and more coming up next.
You're watching Daily Iowan TV.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Nago.
And I'm Mary Caldwell. There may be a reason behind the rise in Iowa gas tax. Yesterday, the state capitol received a report on Iowa's roads, and the results were not good. Kramer Anderson has the story.
Across the state of Iowa, it isn't hard to come by a road that has seen better days. In fact, there are many roads in Iowa that are in need of serious repairs. A recently released report by a Washington, D.C. transportation research organization tells us just how bad of a condition our roads are in. The report states that 27% of Iowa's major urban roads are in poor condition, 50% are in fair condition, and 23% are in good condition. Iowa's rural roads are slightly better, with 13% of them in poor condition, 45% in fair condition, and 42% in good condition. This report reflects an opinion that many Iowans have about our roads.
I mean, I don't have a car, so I don't drive on them that much, but the few times I've driven on them, they all seem pretty poor, to be honest with you. Don't really seem to care about paving the roads. They just kind of drive over it and sand it down, so it all turns into a mess.
Currently, Governor Branstad is in talks with state lawmakers for a 10-cent increase to the fuel and diesel tax. Revenue made from the tax rate increase would go towards the cost of road repairs, a cost that has increased greatly in the past year. Iowa's roads are desperate for repairs, and if we don't do anything about it, then they will just get worse. Kramer Anderson reporting from Iowa City.
State lawmakers are currently searching for a solution.
Iowa is the third state in the nation to ban gay conversion therapy. Today, the Iowa Senate passed a bill that outlaws mental health doctors from providing conversion therapy to minors. Also called reparative therapy, it's an attempt to convert gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender individuals to heterosexuality. The therapy is based on the idea that a person's sexual orientation or gender is a choice. The bill moves to full committee for consideration.
Another ban in Iowa may bring a few more pale young people to the beach this summer due to new legislation. A proposed ban against minors tanning in Iowa salons is moving forward. However, some lawmakers want to allow only 16 and 17-year-olds to tan with parent permission. The bill has cleared the House Human Resources Committee, and a similar bill has passed in a Senate subcommittee.
You may have seen those water bottle refilling stations around the campus in the past, thanks to a student org. But Take Back the Tap doesn't want to stop there. This on-campus group hopes to increase awareness of the benefits of tap water. The group hopes to gain enough petition signatures to ban bottled water sales completely on campus.
Our job is to advocate on behalf of tap water and against bottled water so that people can understand the economic benefits, the environmental benefits, and to an extent the safety benefits.
Take Back the Tap is currently organizing their annual taste test event where students take a blind taste test of bottled water versus tap water.
International Chinese students were able to experience a little piece of home at the Papa John Business Building today while also celebrating the New Year, the Year of the Lamb. The Lunar New Year is a holiday much like Christmas where people spend time with family, eating food and receiving gifts. But for some international students, they didn't get that opportunity. That's why Tippy Senate hosted an event to give students a chance to celebrate. Food went fast with around 250 students attending the event. They had hopes to create a chance for cultures to interact.
Make them feel at home here in the United States. And the second thing is we want to bring the interaction between domestic students and the Chinese students here.
The Tippy Senate will also have events throughout the week for the celebration.
And quite the chilly day today. Hopefully we'll get some double digits later this week.
Yeah, I really hope so. Well, we're going to toss it over to Megan Coble in the weather studio. Megan, how are things looking in the forecast?
Well, I'm happy to be inside now, guys. I saw many students walking to and from class today dealing with the better weather. Unfortunately, it's not going to be much different tomorrow. In the morning, it's going to be freezing, -8 degrees, but the sun will be visible with clear skies. When we get into the afternoon, we may break through those negative temperatures, but not by much. As the sun goes down in the evening, we're going to stay cold with temperatures at 0 degrees. The rest of this week, you can expect some snow coming our way, with a 40% chance on Friday and a 70% chance on Saturday. It looks like our temperatures will be less chilly this weekend, but you'll still want to bundle up with that snow. That's all I have for you. Back to Barry and Michelle at the desk.
Looking for a new place to dine in Iowa City? Well, you're in luck. We sent Austin Love to check out one new restaurant this week.
Among the traffic that passes on Dodge Street stands a new restaurant you might just want to ride your bike to. The bicycle-themed restaurant Ride opened in December, bringing back an old hotspot for cyclists in Iowa City.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of the cyclists in Iowa City hung out here. It wasn't necessarily a cycling-themed restaurant, but this was the hangout. And we thought we'd like to return it to that, but in a bigger way.
Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ride isn't just whipping up great food, but promoting a much bigger cause for the community.
Promoting health. We're interested in having more bikes on the streets than cars for environmental purposes.
And to bring back some fond memories.
I mean, we can all remember when we started as kids, learning how to ride, going from training wheels to shoving off on our own.
Ride is not only supporting a healthier lifestyle and a cleaner Iowa, but they also make a pretty mean dish. Using only local produce in their food, some of their signature dishes include their salmon dish Upstream, angel hair pasta, and their Euro salad. I'm Austin Love, Daily Iowan TV.
Ride is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Muslim Awareness Week has taken our campus by storm. Daily Iowan reporter Ben Marks has been following the events and is with us in the newsroom with an update. Ben?
Thanks, guys. This week, the University of Iowa Muslim Student Association is holding their very first Islam Awareness Week, where they will be holding events each day to raise awareness and acceptance for Islam on campus through events like Hijab It Up and Fastathon. Today, they're holding Islam Within Our Community, where they'll have a guest speaker, and the overall theme of the discussion will be focusing on what it's like for Muslims here on campus. Thursday, they'll be holding Fastathon, inviting those to participate in a fast with them before breaking it at 5:30 at Cray du Lux. On Friday, they'll be handing out flowers of faith around campus. For more information, visit the Daily Iowan or the Muslim Student Association's website. Toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, Ben. Well, President Obama has picked the new director of the Secret Service, but it wasn't the person some people wanted. He ignored a government panel's recommendation to hire an outsider and instead selected interim director Joseph Clancy to head the service. This move comes after a series of embarrassing events for the Secret Service, including an incident with an intruder making it all the way to the White House doors.
The Iowa men's basketball team will face Rutgers Thursday night inside Carver Hawkeye Arena.
It's going to be a big game, so we'll now toss it over to Whitney Blakemore and Jalen Socek in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio for this Wednesday's Courtside Show.
That's right, Mary and Michelle. Men's hoops are back in action, but we start off with some bad news for Lisa Bluter's squad.
Unfortunately, that's right, Whitney. The 11th ranked Iowa women's basketball team fell on the road Tuesday night in Minnesota. The Hawks kept pace with the Gophers, but couldn't close it out down the stretch.
An unranked Minnesota team was able to take down Iowa 93-80 by shooting nearly 51% to Iowa's 38. Samantha Logic, however, having a great game, putting in 26 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds.
The Hawks will return for their final road game of the regular season Saturday night at Ohio State. Iowa last beat the Buckeyes on their home court February 5th, 73-65. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
Returning to the home court, men's hoops will tip off against Rutgers Thursday night for the first time since the Scarlet Knights joined the Big Ten. This will also be the first time Rutgers will have played inside Carver. I took a look at this tough season for the Rutgers going into this matchup. On Thursday, the Hawkeyes are going up against a team who isn't having the easiest time for their first season in the Big Ten Conference. Rutgers currently sit in the bottom of conference standings with a 9-game losing streak after their loss to Purdue last Thursday. The Scarlet Knights are struggling offensively, averaging 10 points less than Iowa and only shooting at 39%. Rutgers' Mile Mack and Kadeen Jack will have to be on point Thursday if they want a chance to win their first road game of the season. Mac and Jack lead the Scarlet Knights in shooting, averaging 14 and 13.3 points respectively.
Mac is an interesting player because he's really creative. He's a hard cover one-on-one. They're going to set ball screens for him, so he'll have some space. You know, he can really score, and he's got three-point range, but he can drive it and dump it and create for others.
This will be the first time Rutgers step into Carver Hawkeye Arena, and only the second time the two teams have ever faced. The first being back in 1989 with a Hawkeye victory.
We understand we're going to a tougher league, and the second part of the process is to get better players, which we think we did, to be competitive, and to meet the opponent eye to eye.
While the odds seem to be in Iowa's favor, the Hawkeyes are coming off 2 consecutive losses, with the last being that devastating overtime defeat to Northwestern, who just before was in a 10-game losing run. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
McCaffrey and company have lost 5 of their last 7 matches. In order for the Hawks to find some success Thursday night, we'll first have to understand what exactly is going wrong.
We'll toss it over to Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Taylor Brooks over at Carver, who can explain why the Hawks are struggling as of late. Taylor?
Thanks, ladies. Something seems to be off on the Iowa men's basketball team, but what exactly is it? The off-balance three-pointer Jared Utoff pulled off against Northwestern on February 15th to send the game into overtime might be the exact definition of what's going on with the Hawks. A lack of offensive production is obvious, but it isn't about not taking enough shots. It's about attacking the rim. Only 12 of the 61 points Iowa scored against Northwestern were in the paint. Jump shots are what the team is settling for. The aggressive factor is also playing into rebounding. A push for having a solid offense and defensive rebounding game is becoming crucial. The defense as a whole has seen better times as well. There seems to be no overall pressure on the ball. A complete game in all aspects is what the team needs right now. Coach McCaffrey simply puts it as they have to play better. Hopefully coming back to Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow night against Big Ten newcomers Rutgers will do just that. Whitney, Jalen, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Taylor. The back-to-back losses leave both players and fans frustrated, but that feeling sits heavy on the shoulders of senior forward Aaron White. How the team moves forward depends on how White can adjust.
You can definitely see the emotion from White on the court, and it was that frustration that led to White playing very uncharacteristically of himself, explaining his poor shooting against the Wildcats on Sunday.
We caught up with White earlier today on how he plans to move forward with just 6 games left in the regular season.
I missed a couple that I usually make, and I think that kind of got me frustrated. And then a couple of my shots were just ill-advised. So, yeah, I learned from it. You know, I usually don't really have nights like that. Usually I pick my spots pretty smartly, and that game I didn't, and I can learn from it, and so it doesn't happen again.
McCaffrey acknowledges White's frustration, but it says the senior is not limited in his scoring abilities.
But he's got other options to go to. You know, I think what you'll see is him going stronger. You know, he's just not going to go up and get a foul call. He's got to go and go through the guy, go around the guy, go over the guy, and just be that much more aggressive. And I think if he does that, he'll be better off.
That'll wrap it up for this court side. We'll have the full recap of Iowa versus Rutgers in Sunday's program. Be sure to check us out tomorrow for Matt's side as the Iowa wrestling team prepares to host the national duels.
But before we toss it back, Mary Michelle, any plans on attending the game Thursday night?
Well, I haven't gotten season tickets, Whitney, but I might have to scout one. What about you, Michelle?
Yeah, I've never been to a basketball game, so maybe we could go together.
Maybe. New Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter might want to focus his efforts on defending his wife. While Carter was being sworn in today, VP Joe Biden got a little grabby with Carter's wife's shoulders and appeared to whisper something in her ear.
Social media has gone crazy about this 28-second shoulder squeeze. Mrs. Carter was frozen in place, but the look on her face said, "Let it go, Joe."
Wow, that's a really awkward situation, Michelle.
It's not that awkward, is it?
It's a little awkward.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the latest news.
I'm Mary Caldwell.
And I'm Michelle Nago. Thanks for watching Daily Iowan TV.
Have a great night.